Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 7-ish of my favorite new features in Davinci Resolve 17. So make sure you've subscribed to the channel because it actually does make a difference. It does help the channel out. So if you like the content, make sure you subscribe. Oh, and also, this is the kind of favorites video where my absolute favorite thing I'm saving for last. Without any further ado, these are some of my favorite new things inside of Resolve. Here we are inside of Resolve, and we're going to get started with some basic UI changes that I really like. So for starters, all these icons actually now represent what the thing actually does. You've got titles that show you what's going on, you've got all of these. They look a lot nicer and they're a lot more helpful, especially people who are going to be new to the software with Resolve 17. Also on the topic of UI stuff, we've got some new things going on here on the colors page. I love the look of these new wheels. I mean, essentially they do the same thing, but they look a lot more modern, a lot more clean, just a lot better now. I really like the way these new wheels look. Also, there is no longer the 1-2 page flipper thing down here. We've got all of our controls visible right here, as well as kind of what some of them do. Like our temperature slider here, we've got cold and warm, and we've got green and magenta for our tint, so that's pretty sweet. Again, that's going to be really nice for people who are new to Resolve in order to help them familiarize themselves with what all the controls do so that they can get into editing faster. So we're going to get away from UI stuff now, and I'm going to say that this color warper is one of the coolest things I have seen in Resolve ever. This color warper is one of my favorite changes that I've seen made. So what you can do with this thing is you can choose specific colors. Like if we wanted to take our blues and desaturate them, we'd grab a blue and just go like this, and then our blues would desaturate. And I'm not going to explain how to use this right now because I'm sure I'm going to have a video out about it pretty soon, but the way that this thing works and the changes that it makes are amazing. So we could take, like, say, and I'll just jump into, I know I just said, but I'll jump into one real quick. If we take our blues, so somewhere around probably the shirt region, if you mouse up here, you can see whatever pixel you are on and where it shows up in the color warper. So say you want to change your blue shirt here, you'd want to adjust the control that is closest to that color that that pixel represents. So you can see this little red thing moving around as I move my dropper up here, and that is showing us the exact color of that pixel. And then the little yellow box around these points are the closest adjustable points. So we get this blue right here, we can grab this point, and say we want it to be more blue, less green, we just drag that toward blue, and it gets into that blue-purple range really fast. See right there? Now it's completely blue. And we can use masks and stuff to get rid of some of this. I'm not going to get into it right now because it's going to be a future video. Next up, another amazing feature that they've added is magic masks. So this isn't going to be regularly where our masks would be, our power windows. It's going to be in its own little home right here in the magic mask section. And with this, you kind of just draw on whatever you're trying to mask out. So we'll say, we'll go with the Crocs. See if we can mask these Crocs. And then we're going to toggle our mask overlay so we can see what it grabbed. Okay, so now we can see what it's grabbed, and then we can hold Alt and tell it that, oh, no, we don't want this. And then swipe over the things that we don't want. Like, say, the toes. Get rid of the toes. We'll zoom in for this. We only want the Crocs in this mask. So you kind of just tell it, I don't want these colors, I do want these colors. And obviously it's new, so you're going to have some struggle here. But we'll call that good for the Croc mask with our new magic mask feature. And then if we go ahead and press this play button, we'll track it forward, and it will follow the Croc. Obviously now we've lost the Croc, but you can see the way that those lines track to the footage that you're using. Obviously that's not perfect, because it's picking up on some other stuff, but in the video that's going to be coming out about the magic mask, I'll go through some of the things that it's good at doing and some of the things that it's not as good at doing, so that you guys are able to use that tool more confidently. But just for this thing's awesome. This is a great addition to Resolve, and it's not in Fusion yet, but there is now a magic wand mask over there in Fusion, so that you can kind of do a similar thing, but it's not this exact same. Next, we're going to be headed back to the edit page because what I'm talking about now is the ability to use Fusion compositions as different transitions or titles or generators or effects, which is just phenomenal. So now things that you make inside of Fusion, you don't have to be pulling out Fusion compositions, bringing in your settings files, things like that. It's just, here it is. Now you can drop it right onto your footage. You're good to go. So we will, for example, go ahead and jump into our effects here. We have all of these pre-built Fusion effects, as well as quite a few pre-built video transitions from Fusion. You just got to scroll down until you get to where it says Fusion transitions. And then we have titles from Fusion as well. But we'll actually start, I think, with some of the transitions from Fusion, because this will be really a good way to show you this. So the clip that I'm working with here is one clip that I cut the middle out of. So I'm carrying my GoPro down the steps, and then I stuck it in a lake. What we're going to do to make this look better is we're going to grab one of our Fusion transitions here. We'll say crash zoom, and we'll just go ahead and drop that right on there the same way we would with any other transition. Doesn't have to be above the clip, doesn't have to be anywhere else. We just drop it on there like a transition. Play that, and boom, right there. It just does what it says it's going to do. It's the crash zoom. Might seem like I'm making a big deal out of a small thing here, but I really am a huge fan of the ability to just integrate your Fusion compositions into your workflow like this, instead of the way that you used to have to do it, which was kind of, well, not nearly as smooth. No kind of about it. It was not nearly as smooth as this new method. And I'm a big fan of having a smooth process. Kind of in a similar vein here, you can actually now just preview these things on your footage. So if you just mouse over, you can see what that effect is going to look like on your footage if you add it. So we've got Cctv Binoculars, and again, you can make your own in Fusion and put them in here, which is sweet. So we've got new generators. You can see what they look like by mousing over them. And that is something that I actually have really been waiting for a long time, is the ability to just see what these things do without adding them to anything. I think that would have been really nice when I was first learning how to do this. I used to just make an adjustment layer and drag stuff onto them so I could figure out what all these effects did. But now you can literally just mouse over them and you see what changes they make without having to add anything to your timeline or mess anything up accidentally. It's just, again, going to be really nice for new people coming to the software to have this as an option. Another thing that I'm super excited about is actually over here in Fairlight, and this is the Transient Detector. So a transient in audio is when you say like transient, right? So anything that's like hard fast, like it's going to find claps, it will find like thumps, or it'll find keystrokes or clicks. Anything that's like boom right at the beginning of a sound and more intense than the regular sound is basically what you're looking at with the Transient Detector. So in order to use this, you just click on this little dude right here, the Transient Detector, and then you come on over into your audio track and you click on Transient Detection to toggle that on, and then it will show you where all of your transients are. So if you have an issue in your footage where you have like lots of clicking noises that you don't need from whatever, like my keyboard, and you try to edit as many of those out as you can, this is going to be an awesome tool for you. Or if you're just looking to find when things start to happen again after a long dead space in your recording, or anything that you would need to find these little spikes for, the Transient Detector is going to help you out with that. And then last but definitely not least, the thing that I am most excited for out of this whole update, everything that I've seen so far, is on the Fusion page. Because if we take this clip right here and jump into Fusion, we are going to see that nothing really looks different. But if we play it back, you heard right, folks. We have audio in Fusion now. I am like a kid in a candy store with this. Keyframes are about to get a lot easier. Motion graphics are about to get a lot more efficient. Everything is just going to be better in Fusion with the ability to use sound inside of this program. I am so excited about this feature. Those are my top 7 new things that got introduced with Resolve 17. I'm sure that I'll find more as time goes on and I spend time in the program working with it and everything. I'm really excited about the potential that this has to bring in new users to Resolve, because I think a lot of the changes that they made are going to make it a lot more new user friendly, which is pretty sweet. I'm also really excited to go through some of these fusion features with you guys in Sunday's live stream. I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to definitely be populating that toolbox with a lot of new tools. So again, make sure you've subscribed so that you don't miss that when it gets here, and I'll see you tomorrow.